Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or whatever time you are watching this video. Welcome to another episode of the EAFC 26 modding tutorial series. My name is Edson Ochoa, and today I'm going to give you a quick update on what have been the latest upgrades to the FC editor by Deco Ruiz. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video, so I wanted to catch up on that particular program because one of the biggest updates that I'm really excited to show you is gonna be such a time saver when it comes to editing the squad files in EAFC 26 and of course in priors, I think EAFC 25 and EAFC 24, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but they also did add the functionality to be able to edit FIFA 16. Let's take a look at some of the new features that FC Editor by Deco Ruiz has currently in this version. Okay, so right now we have our squad file loaded into FC Editor by Deco Ruiz. So right away, one of the biggest things that was added in these latest updates for the FC Editor, as you can see right here, is that now they have the ability to export any data that you edit within the program. Now you don't have to do the old, process of exporting that data into text files and then importing each individual text file to each individual table using the Revolution Database Master 26. Now they actually added the ability to be able to make those changes in the squad file and save it directly in the squad file using FC Editor by Deco Ruiz. All right, so that is going to save a lot of hassle. That is going to save a lot of time. I know there was a couple of questions in the comments about that particular situation. Now, the process is a whole lot easier. Basically, let's say, so we have our squad file loaded, and then let's say we open up the red crowns. I do have to say that right now I do have a squad file for a particular mod, and that's why there's a whole lot more teams in rest of world that are the usual. So let's say, like I said, we have Jack Crichton, right? We have a player that we're editing. All right, and let's say we are changing, let's say their valid contract. We'll change it to 2027. So first you need to save the change, within the module. So you press that button, and then, so you close that. And of course, once you do that, now you don't have to, you could still do the process, the old process by itself. You still have the option, but now you, like I said, you have the option to do this directly, right? So what we're going to do is you press the export edited data to squad. It's going to give you this message that says that it will export your data to a temporary import folder, create a backup of the squad file, which is very useful in case, you somehow, the main squad file you corrupted or because of an update or some reason, or let's say you run into a bug that messed up the information in your squad file. And then, so you're able to revert back to that particular backup file of the squad file, which will contain the information before you made the update, right? So, but it is going to take up data in your local drive that is going to want to try to upload into the cloud. So just be wary that at some point you're going to have to delete all of these backup files, okay? And then that it's going to import the data into the squad file that we loaded, right? So we'll press yes, okay? And now what it's going to do is that it is going to import all of this data into the squad file. Now, by default, the ability to import into that same squad file that you load, it's not on by default. So by default, okay, so this is telling me that it has created the backup. Okay, so by default, if you go into the options and you continue going down, right? By default, this remember loaded squad is off, is disabled, right? So what that happens is when you're saving into a squad file, it's going to ask you first which squad file you want to save all of this data into, right? Even though you had this squad file loaded, it will ask you to specify which squad file you want to save that information to, right? But if you go into options and you enable remember loaded squad, and you save that, what that'll do, it'll actually enable that you will automatically save the information to the squad file you loaded, right? So that's a little bit of a time save right there. Once that happens, let's say now let's reload the squad file. So now once we reload this squad file, we are gonna go once again, go and find the rest of world. We'll open up the red crowns in the team list, and then we'll open up the setting, or we'll open up the details for Jack Crichton. And now you will see that his contract valid setting is now showing up as 2027 and not 2026 as it did in the previous save. So that is how you can confirm that this squad file did actually save. That is one of the biggest updates that the FC editor has had so far in these last couple of months. Now, another thing I want to talk about the FC editor, and I know there's been a couple of questions in the comments regarding the ability to transfer these clubs that you've created into a different squad file. And what was the best way to do so, especially if you're using a particular mod that with every update you need to get new files and everything. So what's the best way to be able to add these teams into these updates without having to do it, from scratch, every time you have to create a new squad file or with every new update? So it is actually pretty easy. I've actually used this multiple times with different squad files for the Red Crowns. What you're gonna do is they do have the functionality to batch import and batch export. So when you batch import, you can import players, managers, squads, teams, leagues, competitions, or many faces using CM Tracker. And we will be using that. You can actually also batch change player IDs, manager IDs, and teams IDs. But what we're going to focus on today is we're going to be focusing on exporting and then re-importing into a different squad file. Right now, for my example that I'm going to use, kind of taking advantage, I actually had recorded some footage about 3 days ago, and then I saw that there's going to be an update, to FIFA. That happened like right after I actually downloaded this particular mod that we're going to be using as an example, which is the LTA mod, which is South American mod. So it includes Liga MX, Liga Expansión, a lot of South American leagues, you name it, right? So I wanted to test and see if it was possible for me to be able to import the Red Crowns into that particular mod. What I didn't know when I first downloaded the mod is that this particular mod does not have a squad file per se. This particular mod is a mod that actually edits the database directly instead of using squad files to add all of these teams, right? So technically there is no squad file per se right off the bat from the downloaded files that you have to update. There's actually a particular process you have to go to in order to get your squad file, right? So this isn't really a tutorial on how to install this mod, but what I will show you is how to extract, or not extract, but be able to generate the squad file that you'll be using in order to make this export import possible, right? But we'll get to that in a second. The first thing I want to show you about this particular process is that the export, right? So when you export, you can export just players, just the managers, just the squads, the actual teams, including the team information, leagues, competitions, and mini faces, right? So if you want to upload a league, it'll upload everything, or not upload. If you want to export a league, it'll upload the league information, and it will actually ask if you actually want to export all of the teams in that particular league or competition as well within that export. So, but today we're going to be exporting a team. We're going to export the Red Crowns, right? So we'll click on teams. And so here in this checklist, this is where you're going to select the team from the league that you have in the filter. It'll ask you to select the teams or team that you want to extract in this particular process. Okay, so we're going to be looking for the RGB Red Crowns, which is probably in the end because it is sorted by team ID. Okay, You find the red crowns or whatever is the team that you're trying to export. And then here are your export options. Do you want to export the team information, the squad, the kit information, the manager, the stadium link, and the stadium's custom name, right? So for example, if you want to export the team into a different squad file, but let's say from the squad file that you originally had it to the new one, there's a change in manager. Right, so you don't need to actually export the manager because you're going to create a new one, to begin with once you put it into the new squad file. So you can actually deselect it and it'll actually skip over the process to export the manager as well. Or let's say they moved stadiums, right? So it'll take away the stadium link, or it'll skip over the stadium link, custom name, you name it, right? But in this case, everything's still the same. So we're going to have everything selected, and then you're going to click on the export selected button, right? Once you do that, it'll ask you to where you want to save this particular export file that you're going to get. So you select a folder where you want to save it to, okay? And then here you'll press select folder, and it'll tell you that it has successfully exported this team to the directory that you selected, right? So if we were to go into the folder that we selected, you will see that now you will have this team file that was saved in the folder that you selected, right? And we can see, it's 929, 930. Okay, so this is the folder, this is the file that you're going to be importing into the new squad, right? But like I said, in this case, we need to prepare, once we reinstall this LTA mod, once I reinstall it, I will show you the process to be able to create the squad file and then go ahead and import the red crowns into the game. Okay, so now that we have set up all of the mods and add-ons for the LTA mod, obviously you could see that the splash screen is completely different from vanilla, so that's how you know that the mod did install correctly. So obviously you're going to enter the game, and then what you're going to do is we want to make sure that you will see all of the teams that were added, right? So if you go here, you will see now you have all these teams that were previously in other leagues in the vanilla game. They're now in rest of world, and now you see, for example, you have Liga MX, Liga Expansión MX. So that's how you know for sure that it did load the mod correctly. What do you do now? So what you're gonna do, because you don't have an actual squad file to be able to make the change using FC editor, you're going to create one. So you're going to go into customize, you're going to go into save squads, and you're going to create a new squad, right? And you're going to name it what you want. So we'll do LTA Mod tutorial, okay? And it'll save this squad file, and now you'll be able to use this squad file to make the edits of importing the red crowns into the game. So now what you're going to do is you're going to close this, or you're gonna not. So now what you're going to do is you're going to go back to FC editor, and you're going to load this new squad file, which is this one right here. Okay. And you're going to load this into the application. Okay. Once it loads correctly, just want to make sure, just to be safe. Look, yes, I see Liga MX there. So you're going to find the rest of world. If we go to the R's, you will see that there is no red crowns in this list. So now you're going to go into batch import. Oops. And then you're going to go into teams. You're going to then open the folder. You're going to go into the folder where you have the export file, and you're going to open the export file. And it says, do you want to remove the current squad players before importing for all teams? That's usually like if you're importing a team when it's already there in the squad. So we'll just press no because it's not there. Do you want to replace existing players? Just to ask for each, but because it's a new team, you shouldn't have to. Do you want to import new teams that don't already exist into the selected league? Import new teams that don't already exist into the selected league. We'll play yes. Okay. So the following teams were imported successfully. RGB Red Crowns 132700. We can confirm. We'll go back here. We'll go ahead and put the filter back into men's rest of world. And now we'll go down and we will see that the RGB Red Crowns are on the list now. Just want to go ahead and open up and confirm. Okay, 2027. So the change is still there that we did earlier in this video. The change is there in the squad file. So now we'll go back and we're going to export all of this data into this squad file. So let's go ahead and save the squad file with all of the changes, which is basically the addition of the red crowns into this squad file. Okay, so now that it says that the data did import successfully into the squad file. Now, before we actually open the game, so we have to make some changes into this. If you're using FIFA Editor tool, you do have to make some changes before you open the game with the mod, because now you can't open, because you're using a mod, you can't open the project directly from the editor tool. You actually have to export as a mod. So this was going to be kind of like a 2-for-1 video today. Okay, so let's go back into the Data Explorer just to show you. So this has all of the mods that I had so far for the red crowns, which includes badges, anthem jackets, which I will make a separate video on how to actually install those, the kits, the players that I edited and their faces. And here we have the banners, flags, and the scarves, and of course the entrance anthems and the goal anthems that I have for the red crowns. Now, keep this in mind, talking about sounds, is that so the particular mod for LTA does use sounds, and if you use a different mod file at the same time that has sounds, depending on where you have in the hierarchy, in the mod order, it'll probably replace the sound pack that is in the mod. So you just got to be careful with that. Anyway, going into Legacy Explorer, so we do have some files that we did edit. Now this particular project was created specifically for compatibility with the LTA mod. So these are the things that we need to change, and thankfully the creators of this mod did actually leave a folder with the data that we can actually import into a project and then create into another mod file. So that way you're able to make these changes and make it compatible with the LTA mod without a problem. One of the biggest things is, of course, your database, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to import, right, the database from the LTA mod. And that includes as well, not only the regular database, but also the meta XML file. So you're going to go here into Recursos Editables, editable resources. You're going to go into the database, right? And you're going to select FIFA_ng_db. And you're going to import that particular database file. Also going to import the meta file, which is going to be in the same folder. So your database has been imported. So now once you create it into a mod and add it to the list in Mod Manager, it will be compatible with LTA mod. And I'll show you right now. FIFA RNA, this is more for all the anthem kits that come with the mod. I don't think there's going to be any particular changes to player and player kits, so we'll go ahead and leave that for now. If something already comes up while I'm testing after this, then we will have to re-import these Lua files, which are player underscore kit. This is one that we actually also have to update every time that there is a an update from EA Sports of EAFC 26, because there are some with every update they usually add variables into the game. So when you don't update the local language file with these new variables, the variable will be coming up on screen on the menu and all, so there's going to be missing links there. So every time there's an update in the game, you're going to have to go into your FIFA editor tool, open this local database file, and you're going to have to re-add the information of your teams into the local database file, so that way the team name, team abbreviations will come up on screen and not just the variable name coming up, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to import the file, the local database file for English US in my case. If you use the German version, you have yours, Spanish, Latin America, or Spain. You have all of these language files that are updated for the mod, right? So in my case, I'm going to open English_US. But if I just use this file as is from the mod, if I open up the red crowns, like I said, the variable is going to come out. So you need to go into language strings 2, go all the way down, and you're going to have to re-add the information for the all these variables for your team. In this case, the red crowns in my case, right? So you'll press here this button down here that says add, so it'll add a row. In here you will add the variable name, which is team name _132700. In here, this is where you will type the full name of your team, RGB Red Crowns SC. Before you move on to the next one, you want to make sure that you hash this variable. I don't know exactly what it does, but it is very important you do so in order to be able to be read by the game. So you press the hash and it will give a hash value to this variable. Once you add all the variables that you need for the team or teams or leagues or competitions that you are importing into the mod, you will press this floppy disk icon, the save icon, and it'll save this the changes into this local file. Like I said, you can't just launch the game with the mods because it's not going to open the LTA mod from here. It's not a project file, it's a mod file. So what you're going to do is you're going to, and this is how you actually publish your mods to be used in Mod Manager. You will go into File, Export to Mod. You will type in the information of your mod, and what it's going to show you when you or if you do share it publicly, the person who downloaded and is installing this mod, it will show you all this information there. Okay. You can add social links here, images, and a description. Since this is just a tutorial, I'm not going to add much information. So I'm just going to press save. And I can actually choose to save in a folder. So we will call this one RGB Red Crowns Beta 3. You will save it. And now in Mod Manager, so this is the list of all of the add-ons and the mod file for the LTA mod, right? And they ask for this particular order of the mods as well for it to work correctly. Once you're here in Mod Manager, you are going to import mod, and you're going to go, and in this case, we're going to import RGB Red Crowns Beta 3, and then you can either double click, or once it's selected, you can actually click on this button that says apply mods, and it'll apply it into the list of the mod. Okay. Once you have that established, then don't click launch yet, right? You're going to click this down arrow and you're gonna press the option that says delete FIFA mod data and launch, just so you can be sure that the game will read the most up-to-date mod information from what you are trying to import into the game. Otherwise, it'll tend to read the data that is already in cache per se, and it might not pick up the new mod files that you added into the list. So just to be sure, click here, make sure that Auto Launch Live Editor is enabled. You'll press that, and so now it will actually compile all of this mod data and inject it into the game. Okay, so now that we have the game booted up once again with these mods, we want to make sure that the game did, or that Live Editor did actually inject these mod files correctly into the game. So in order to double check, we want to make sure we'll go into the gear icon. We'll go into Team Sheets, and we'll try to find in Rest of World and see if the red crowns do come up on the list. And as you can see, it did seem to load up correctly. Loaded up the textures, loaded up the team sheet. Everything seems to be working correctly as far as the red crowns are concerned. They are appearing in the game, as well as all the relative information. Now, the last thing we just need to see is to make sure that the game will play, or we can actually play a game with the red crowns without crashing. All right, as you can see so far, it looks like everything has been loaded correctly, including the Anthem kits. But let's see if we're actually able to play the game.
Disfrutando estamos con todos ustedes y junto a Carlos Guerrero y Diego Latorre. Amigos, yo soy Mariano Clos. Salen ambos equipos junto al cuerpo arbitral.
Gracias, amigo.
As you can see, the Anthem jacket is working correctly for the red crowns. Scarves are working correctly, so all of those textures are working perfectly. So I am extremely excited that I can confirm to you that the export and import of the red crowns into the LTA mod has been successful. But that is going to be it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for all of the support that you have given me and my YouTube channel. I know I've been gone for a while, but believe me, been very busy with work, with the Lady Patriots, with the Red Crowns in real life. But now that all of that, we are in the off season, kind of have a little bit of time to kind of compile some videos for your help. I know I received a lot of feedback from you all in these last couple of months saying that these tutorials have been very helpful for you guys in order to learn, how to mod the game. So I really, really appreciate your trust in these videos to help you learn the process on how to edit and make this game a whole lot better than it comes straight out of the box, right? Now, I do have some videos that I want to, or some processes that I really want to show you guys that are high on my priority list. The biggest one for me, as you saw, would be the Anthem jackets, because I know there's not a lot, if any, videos on how to create them and actually link them so that way they will actually show up in the game and not just the default Anthem jackets that are the generic ones that are used by EA. As you can see right there, fully customized. I'll even show you a picture of how it looks like in real life. But that's going to be on my high to-do list priorities. You saw as well, banners, flags, scarves. I will teach you all that in another video on how to create them, both using, the FC editor by the Correis to generate them, but also to create some custom ones in Photoshop, show you some pictures of the real life and how I was able to create them and import them into the game. But guys, let me know in the comments what video you want me to make. What process do you want me to explain? I know there's a lot of process out there and customizations. As you heard right now, you got club anthems as well in the game. That's another process that is on the list. But let me know what you guys are most interested in learning about. And of course, please give all of your support to Deco Ruiz, give your support to the creators of the FIFA editor tool, and of course the LTA Mod. You know, they have their own communities, they have their own Discord channels, or servers, I should say, that are available for you all to join, and you'll join a community that'll try to help you as much as possible. In the case that you try to contact me and I'm kind of slow to react or slow to respond, you can also use the Discord channel to be able to, you know, ask questions about the process, and they will try to help you as best as they can. But until next time, thank you all for your support, and we'll see y'all in the next video.